Today I want to share the story of how the train method came to be, and I've iterated since the last time I told the story, which is why I'm recording a new video. I've come up with this version, which has photos online that you can follow along. In our class 1 page, there's a link to it, and you can also see this diagram and zoom in if you'd like to follow along with my story. However, what you'll notice is that this does keep me on track, but it doesn't say everything. I actually have a terrible memory, but this will help prompt me with the stories I want to tell along the way, and of course keep me on track. Along the top, I've got my train cars, and these are the steps or the details and the cargo. Let's get started. In 2006, I started Freckled Nest as a blog. It turned into a business, first as a crafter and then as a designer, into a web design agency with my business partner, Kyla Roma. We had 13 people in our team, and we would make creative websites for worldwide clients. It was a really big deal to me. But in 2014, Kyla and I decided to dismantle the business because we wanted to go in different directions. And at the time, my mental health was starting to show problems, and I was full of energy, ideas, excitement. But when it came to follow through and turning my ideas into step-by-step things I could execute, I honestly didn't know how to do it. So I was known as an unorganized procrastinator, which hurt my feelings, but it was true. Things were really hard. I have a terrible memory. I couldn't get to the point. I was using lists, but not able to check things off and execute. I was struggling. In 2016, I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder. Nobody knew it because I was putting on a very positive outlook in life, but behind the scenes, I was chaos, like I shared. I was struggling and I was really low. I needed a project that would help connect and control my ideas and turn them into action. So I had a genius idea. I started a Tumblr. I wanted it to use symbols, analogies, color, design, and I wanted it to be small, easily memorable, visual, paper and digital, formatted, consistent, affordable, fun, and I needed it to be a solution to just get me started. Tyler and I were living together and in love. I was building this new business, Leigh-Ann Mick, and focusing on websites with support from the Train Method project. But I wasn't at the point I am now, and I was feeling like websites really weren't lighting me up like they used to. I was still also working on this big project, and it had turned into a train-focused project about building packages for my business. It wasn't yet what you see about organization and planning and the 5-step train system. In December 2019, I hit a new benchmark with the train method, and I turned it into the train acronym that you almost know now. There was one letter different. I was at a point where I was really excited because this felt like a breakthrough and the way that I wanted it to work. But I was also very hyper focused on it, and I became manic, and I didn't sleep for 5 solid days. I was also vlogging through this, and it was pretty worrisome to my family. Tyler took me to the doctor soon after, and she asked me if I was on cocaine because my behavior was a lot like that. No, I was manic because I actually have bipolar 2. So she explained this, and I was set up with a psychiatrist to get a proper diagnosis, and from there, medication to help me. Things have been a lot different since that change. I got my first client with the train method in 2020, and it was my now boss, Janelle DeRogier, who owns Bloom and Brilliance. She wanted to turn her one-woman show into a design agency, and she wanted me to help her do it, since I had a design agency before. We used the train method, and it went really well. She was pumped about it, she understood it, and she liked that packaging approach I had been using before. However, I didn't feel like it was where I wanted to be with the train method, so I went back to the drawing board. Then, at 40 years old, Tyler and I discovered we were going to be parents. Unexpectedly, but very joyfully. And then it got even better. We discovered we were having twins. However, things didn't go as we hoped, and our daughter Lucy passed away after 21 days. And Charlotte is a twinless twin. She's 3 years old now. Sometimes there's trains that include things about grief, and that's why, so I thought I'd explain. Tyler and I are co-parents and friends now, but we're no longer together. In 2022, Charlotte and I moved in with my Uncle Wayne. Tyler and I share her 50-50, and Wayne and I became roommates. So whenever Charlotte was at her dad's, I was working on the train method on the living room floor. Wayne would often come watch me and give me a little feedback or ask questions. And one time he shared with me about the line of travel. It's a postman's tool for planning the most efficient and effective route in delivering their letters. And I applied that to the train method, and then things really expanded. Ultimately, I've been iterating since 2016. I've taken one version and remade it and made adjustments each time, and then did it over and over until I got to the results I wanted. The iterate phase is essential. And now we're in Momentum Makers, this little community of creatives wanting to get organized, and I'm going to teach you how using the train method. It's the same 5 steps every time, everywhere. Target, record, assemble, iterate, navigate. Imagine this. It's a system that will help you get organized, plan and process, take action, and follow through. So today I'm going to teach you how to trainstorm, and we'll look at the timeline trains. Next week though, we'll dig into the train method a lot more with sequence trains, and we'll be doing a class exercise that's lots of fun. Less talking, more doing. And then the following weeks we'll learn other trains. However, all these trains use the target, record, assemble, iterate, and navigate process. They just have different intentions. So for example, we have a timeline train, which is more of a calendar, and a journal train, which is your journal. Momentum makes milestones.